Hello everyone, welcome back to the material for English 2 for Diploma 3 with me Miss Mona Lisa Pasaribu, and this week we are in week 10 and we are going to discuss the material for English 2 for the week 10. The topic, as you can see over here, is computers in education. So we'll be looking at the use of computers in education, and then we'll be also looking at some evaluation of text in relation to computers in education. So let us check the material for this week. Alright, so this is a very quick outline for this video. So we're going to look at the review from last week's material, and then we'll look at the objective for this week, and then we'll discuss more on the computers in education. Alright, so a very quick review from last week's material. So we were discussing about the genre in a computer text, and we also have learned about the function, the genre itself, the way to identify a genre, which means to identify the purpose of the text in a certain text, and then after that we also identify that whatever the form, as long as the function is stated in the text, then it is all the same. Okay, so the form of the text doesn't change the function of the text. So that's something that we understand from the materials last week. Okay, and everyone, I hope have understood this discussion about genre. So now we are going to move on to the objective of the lesson for this week. So still similar to last week's material, we are still going to evaluate text related to technology and computing. So for this week, the text evaluation will be a bit of a review from transferring information from text to picture, and then we're also going to evaluate text in a form of identifying the class of the word. Okay, so whether it's noun, whether it's adjective, verb, or adverb. Okay, and we are going to look at more specifically the discussion of this in the material for this week. Alright, so a very quick warm-up question over here. So there are some questions. So how are computers used in ITEDL? So we noticed that you have been to ITEDL, so this question is relevant to you. How are computers used in ITEDL? And then what do you think the following terms mean? So we have virtual education, open learning, and flexible learning. So for these questions, I want you to answer this in the comment column in YouTube. So please answer these questions in the YouTube comments below. Okay, so you can pause this video and then after that answer the question in the YouTube comment below. Okay, so for this week's reading, as you can see in our campus information system, I have uploaded the text reading aid about computer in education. So for this reading text, I want you to check, not only check, but read the text, and then after that, record yourself reading one part of the text. So if possible, you can do the reading for the whole parts, but you can record yourself only for one part of the text. Okay, and then after that, once you finish with the reading, if you have words that you don't understand, you can identify it, and then later on during the practicum session, we can discuss the words that you do not understand. Okay, so there are two things that you need to do for this week's reading. So the first one is to record yourself reading one part of the text. So it doesn't have to be all of the text, but one part of the text. Okay, so maybe one paragraph or one column of the text. And then after that, you need to identify the words that you do not understand according to the reading for this week. Okay, and then later in the practicum session, I will ask some students to play the recording and check the pronunciation of your reading. Alright, so now we come to the first evaluation of text. So we have actually discussed this a bit in week 3, if I'm not mistaken. We are talking about how to present ideas in a diagram. Now we talk about it in a form of a picture. Alright, so it's quite similar to presenting information in a diagram. So the idea is you need to choose prominent information or key information from the text. So you don't transfer the whole information into a picture, but you choose specific information that has key meaning to the text. Okay, so choose only prominent information. And then after that, put the information in a clear format. And what does it mean by a clear format? Like for example, if you're drawing it in a form of arrows, then make sure it's in a clear format. Which one is going where? Okay, so clear format information, and then after that, make sure that it is presented in a correct order. So clear and correct order, so that later when you're presenting this information or someone else is reading your picture, that they will have no misunderstanding on the picture. Okay, so without reading the text, they can actually understand the information that you have from the picture. Okay, so that's the idea in presenting ideas in a picture. So picture simplifies the text. That's why you only choose the prominent information to put in a picture. If you put the whole information in the picture, then it's actually a text in a form of a picture. Okay, so you simplify the text in a form of picture and choose only prominent information. Okay, so that's for presenting ideas in a picture. So it's quite similar to presenting ideas in a diagram as well. Alright, so just a quick discussion about how to transfer information to picture. So let's have a look over here. So this is the text that we discussed in week 3, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look over here. So this one is talking about Wi-Fi, and there are 2 pictures over here. In your opinion, okay, so I'm asking you about your opinion, which of these 2 pictures, so this is picture A and this is picture B. Now, from this discussion over here, from this text, which one do you think will be the best picture to describe the text? Is it picture A or is it picture B? Okay, and when you answer, why do you think picture A is the best maybe, or picture B is the best? So give your reason why one is better than the other one, or one is not better than the other one. Okay, so give the reason to your answer. Okay, so this is actually one way of evaluation of text. So you identify what information is presented in the picture. Okay, and which information is actually representing the text better. Okay, so that's one evaluation that you can do in a text evaluation. Okay, later in the practicum, we're going to discuss your answer. Alright, so for the first practice, so once you've done with the previous activity, I want you to draw a picture describing the reading text that we have for today. So once you have done with the recording of the text, so you already understand a bit of the text, and try to help to draw a picture describing the text, the reading text for today. So what you can do, you can draw it in a piece of paper, and then after that, take a picture of it and then put it later in your computer. So later during the practicum session, you can share the picture, and then everyone else or all of your classmates can see it, including myself. Okay, so draw the picture, and then after that share it later in the practicum session. And that's one way. The other way, if you want to do it in in your computer directly, so you can make it in a form of Word, and then after that make the picture, and then after that be able to share the answer or share the picture to your friends later in the practicum session. Okay, so that's one practice that I want you to do for the practicum session. So there will be quite plenty of activity that we will do in the practicum session. Alright, now the second one, the second evaluation that we are going to discuss is talking about word class. Okay, so we have, this is actually part of speech. So we have noun, adjective, adverb, and verb. Okay, so noun, so let's have a look over here. Some words actually have all the forms in noun, adjective, adverb, and verb with different functions. So noun functions to what? Adjective also has a different function and the other ones as well. Okay, so for example, we have beautiful, beautify, beautiful, beauty, beautifully, and beautify. So this has its own function. So as an adjective, noun, adverb, and verb. But please keep in mind that some words actually have only one or two, maybe two or three forms. So not all complete forms, not adjective, noun, adverb, and verb. Probably some words only have adjective and noun, or some words only have the adjective and adverb and verb. Okay, so not all words in English has all the forms, but some only have, like for example, beautiful, beauty, or beautifully. Okay, so that's something that you need to understand. So now we will look at the function for each word class. Okay. All right, so let's have a look at this discussion. So the word class of noun is identified as a person, place, or thing. Okay, and then it can be positioned as the subject or the object in a sentence. So for example, if you say I am a student. So I is actually a noun. Student is also a noun. So it can be positioned as the subject and the object. Okay, so that's something that you need to understand in a function of a noun. And after that, when you're talking about adjective, the adjective is used to describe nouns, and it can be positioned before the noun or after the noun. Okay, so for example, if you're talking about before the noun, so for example, a diligent student. Okay, or after the noun, the student is diligent. Okay, so something like this can be used to describe nouns. And then the verb is used to describe things that nouns do. Like for example, I read. Read is so I is the noun and read is the verb. Okay, so read describes what the nouns do, what I do. Okay, so that's the verb. And then after that, the adverb is used to describe verbs. Okay, so if I say I read quickly, for example, quickly describes the verb. Okay, quickly describes the read, the verb read. Okay, so that's how you identify the noun, adjective, adverb, and the verbs. Okay, here are some notes for you. So the simplest way to identify the class of the word is by putting it in a sentence. Okay, once you put it in a sentence, you'll be able to identify, okay, this is the noun, this is the adjective, this is the verb, and this is the adjective. Okay, so that's the the adverb. Okay, and that's the easiest way to identify the class of words. We're going to discuss more on this in the practicum session later. Okay. Alright, now for the second practice for the theory class, I want you to look at these words. Okay, so I have rich, education, computer, clean, and sign. Okay, so for these words, I want you to identify the class of words for these words. Okay, so we have rich, education, computer, clean, and sign. If you think there are two class of words for this word, then state it there. Okay, probably like for example, rich can be verb or adverb, maybe, I'm not sure, or education can be in a form of verb or noun, something like that. Okay, if you find there are two types of two class of words for this particular word, then put it there. Okay, in the practicum session we're going to discuss it more. Okay, so that would be for the theory class, everyone. So I hope this gives you a bit of preview on what we will do in the practicum class, because in the practicum class later we're going to look at how you transfer the information from text to a diagram. Okay, so we're going to look at how you evaluate the text, and then after that we're also going to identify the word class from the text that we discussed today. Okay, so that's what we will do in the practicum session. So make sure during the practicum, before the practicum class, you have finished all the exercises that is being asked in the theory session. Okay, I'll repeat this one more time. So we will make sure you finish the practicum, the materials in the theory class before you go to the practicum session. And also because it is a practicum class, I would like to remind you again to be active in the class, and do not be afraid of practicing your language skill, because this is a good opportunity for everyone to practice their English. And yeah, as it says, it's a practicum class, so you need to practice your English. Okay, everyone, do not be afraid of making mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I also do mistakes, so don't worry about it. Okay, the thing is, you practice. If you can practice, then we can identify which one is not good, so we can improve. Okay, everyone, so that's just my comments for this practicum class. And here are the references for this week's material. Okay, thank you very much for your watching this video, and see you all in the practicum session. If you have questions, let me know in the chat column, or ask me in the class, or through my WhatsApp. Okay, thank you, and see you all in the practicum session. Goodbye, everyone.